right, here we go. All right, once again, fellas, we got live for the first live stream actually. So this is actually our fifth time getting together with our first time live, and so we're going to talk about today's slate of games. So this is the first NFL Sunday, and you are joining the In the Pocket Fantasy Football Podcast. As we always like to say, giving you fantasy insight and foolishness with a side of mumbo sauce, top with a little bit of Old Bay, coming straight at you from the Big Chair, by way of the Shrimp Boat, all the way through PG Plaza and down Suitland Parkway. So all your DMV fantasy news, and we want to give it to you, but I'll give you the blues. So, all right, fellas, how y'all feel, man, about this first Sunday? We got one game under our belts, and we had a shootout with the Dallas Cowboys and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So, what's your thoughts on this Sunday, and any insight or any thoughts on Thursday night? Anything that jumped out to you? I know you riding high, Jose. You said you got some good advice in terms of picking them back in the draft. How'd that work out for you?
Oh, lovely. I kind of anticipate him throwing the ball around. I anticipated that 400 yards. What surprised me was Pollard. It surprised me how many touches he got and how kind of fluent and better he was as a running back than Zeke. But I know it's just probably because, Tampa Bay was passing around or just basically just dominating them. But I just seen how Pollard just stepped up on that game. To me, I thought he was a surprise from and Gallup. I was kind of surprised in Gallup. I kind of put him down on my list as not to pick up.
Yeah, so with Gallup, I normally was staying away. I was unsure. I had him on one of my squads, and I was unsure how he would look in the past. I know he's kind of a boom or bust when I've had him on my teams, and I was a little hopeful that this year he would kind of carve out a role, but it didn't happen too much. But now that he has an injury, I had to let the brother go. What about you, Terrence?
Yeah, Dak looked good, so we can get rid of those worries about if Dak was coming back 100% or not. As a Redskins fan, kind of not too good for us.
Yeah, but I'm not all that excited about it.
I know, right? Antonio Brown, he's looking like a favorite target of Tom Brady so far. He looks good out there.
Listen. So look, not only did he look good, last year, he was targeting them a lot, but it was a bunch of screens, and a bunch of short yard stuff, yeah. Right? And they were just trying to get him active. Man, look like right now they trying to get on some Ben Antonio Brown type stuff, deep routes, and if they get going, man, I think folks are in trouble because
what y'all think about
as a third receiver? That don't even make sense.
What you think about Gronk?
That was
eight catches, 8 targets, 2 touchdowns.
I think that experience with Tom, man, I think he's going to really do some things. They got 3 tight ends, man. I really want OJ. Is it Howard? The tight end, third tight end. I really want him to do stuff. I had him on my roster. I feel like cutting him right now.
I mean, after that performance, I don't know. He was looking for him early and often. So
right,
it's a lot of mouths to feed over there, and I'm betting on the Tom Brady, Gronk, reclaim the fame. But we'll see.
If I had to put money on it, I'm going with his former roommate and his former teammate. I don't know if you can go wrong with them two.
Right.
When a brother bring you into his own home, that shows he got love for you.
Right.
All right. So look, let's get into this Sunday slate. But first, let's talk about injuries, right? And so at first, I wasn't seeing a whole lot. Right now, I'm expected to play folks who had injury tags on them that were either probable or questionable. Right now, it looks like Austin Eckler is expected to play. Saquon Barkley is expected to play. So is Emmanuel Sanders. I think Odell Beckham Jr. is right now has him as questionable, and so I think that's something to keep an eye out for as we get closer to kickoff time. So the if he does play, what type of impact do you guys see him having?
For Saquon?
No, OBJ first and foremost. Then we'll touch on Saquon.
I think he's probably gonna have maybe 90 yards, probably 13 catches, 1 touchdown.
Are you starting? Is he RB1 or RB2?
With those stats, you gotta start him. Not 13 catches, 90 yards, and a touchdown.
I'm not.
Yeah. That's an RB1 type of
that's a wide receiver one. What you talking about?
It's not gonna be on my list.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on who you got on your squad, obviously, but yeah, I'm looking at a shootout for that game.
Right.
I like, of course, you like your Kansas City players, but I also think Baker Mayfield is gonna have to air it out. I don't think they're gonna be able to grind it out with Chubb. I'm looking at this to be one of the higher scoring games of the week, and it's gonna be a air show. So yeah, I'm starting OBJ if I got him.
I think I got him right outside my wide receiver 2. I got him at a wide receiver 3, and I think that he may or may not be able to move in there. The matchup is great. I think the game script could potentially be in his favor. I'll be interested to see how much Cleveland looks to control the game on the ground. But I definitely have him right outside of my wide receiver 2 at the moment. Just basically, OBJ. There have been games where he's been injured and he's kind of been used as a decoy, and not that he likes that role, but you never know from that standpoint. So I got him ranked. He's right around that 25, 26 range, so just right outside. So if somebody was playing him in a wide receiver 2, I wouldn't fault him at all. And that's just based on not necessarily based on what I expect, what his ceiling is, but just not knowing what the extent of his injury is going to be in terms of his usage for today. What about Saquon? Is he? I'm pretty much know if you drafted Saquon, you playing him today. The question is, where do you think he'll end up? Do you think he'll end up at with the running RB1 type of stance? You think he end up in the top 12 this week, or
nah?
Where do you see him at?
I mean, you're not benching him. You're not benching him. I mean, he's gonna be in your top 24. So right. Yeah, you got him. You start him.
What about you, Jose?
Well, if he's if I drafted him on my fantasy, yeah, I had to start him. But if I'm doing the dailies now, I think if I had drafted him, I would have definitely drafted Booker right behind to make sure that I have his backup. And if I did, I'll probably have both of them on the starting lineup, Booker on the flex.
Okay. All right. So yeah, I see him. You definitely running with him. That's for sure.
Plus, Booker going against his old team, so he's going to want to show off.
Okay. All right. So players that have been ruled out, from what I'm saying, is Evan Ingram, T.Y. Hilton, Curtis Samuel, Traquan Smith with New Orleans, Rashad Bateman, Baltimore, and Will Fuller, of course, is serving a suspension. So he's out. I got him sitting on my bench on ice, hoping that at some point in time he can come through and have a few, highlight games like he did last year. But any of those names stand out? Like any impact on that? Either Ingram, Hilton, or Samuel. I don't think Traquan or Rashad Bateman has any impact on the weekend at all. But does Ingram's situation?
I mean, I think you might see the tight end for the Redskins get a couple extra looks without Samuel in there.
Logan, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, nothing that changes my rankings on anybody.
Okay. What about yours, eh? Any of those things stand out? Any real impact at all?
No, not really. I mean, because for Ingram, I mean, the two big names I think of is Ingram and Samuel, and maybe Bateman, but no, I don't think they're gonna really make
Okay.
an impact.
Yeah, I've been hearing a lot that the Washington football team wants to get Samuel involved in offense quite a bit. So I definitely think that's one less mouth to feed for
Now,
Fitzpatrick.
I do think Dwami Brown, he's gonna show off on this game.
So okay, and yeah, I don't think any of the other ones are any real impact. But
Who's that you said was going to show off?
I think his name is Dwami Brown, the rookie from North Carolina.
I don't even know who that is, man. I'm sorry.
What? That's your team. I think number 2 or number 8. Hold up, let me look. But
but ain't nobody. If you play that guy this week,
that's the name. Is he right now? He's like wide receiver 80. Like any situation where you can see him, getting at all.
Jose called it though, so if he go off, he would look like
you heard it here first. You
Right.
heard it here first. Okay, all right, cool. All right, so let's get into it, man. And real quick, I think game time decisions. What I'm seeing right now is Nelson Aguilar with New England, and Keelan Cole Sr. So keep an eye out for those two to see what their final status is and whether they're active or not. And you had to be in a pretty, one of our 14 or 16 team leagues to even have those guys in consideration at all, for the most part. So let's get into it, fellas. So at quarterback, anybody that you have that is not ranked in the top 12 by most experts that you think should be starting, or anybody in the top 12 that you have outside of that you're kind of down on, that you don't think will perform right now. This what I have is for the remaining games is Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Kyler Murray, Josh Allen, Tom Brady, Rodgers, Wilson, Jalen Hurts, Tannehill, Stafford, Bear. So if you take up Brady, it would be Rodgers, Wilson, Hurts, Tannehill, and then Stafford, Bear, and Justin Herbert, and Trevor Lawrence, then Matt Ryan. So I'll start off. So for me, the only one I'm unsure of is Trevor Lawrence. I'm not quite sure what to expect, but I think if you drafted him, you're going to play him this week. But I wouldn't be surprised if he's outperformed by either Baker Mayfield or Ryan Fitzpatrick. What about you, Jose?
I think Ryan Fitzpatrick is going to really show off today. I also think who's the other person? For some reason, I think Winston's going to show off today. And who's out the 25?
What receiver you got going? Who he going off with for New Orleans?
Kamara.
All right.
I got Kamara going off, and then he's gonna get some to Callaway. I see all because they got Jazeer Alexander out there covering, so it's gonna be tough to on their receivers. But Harris, their slot receiver, I think he's gonna get a lot of catches, and I think it's just gonna be a Kamara show. Really.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, for me, like I like Baker Mayfield. They're in one of the highest score games. They got to go to Kansas City, and I don't think they're going to be able to control that game on the ground. So I see Kansas City putting up 2 quick scores, and Baker Mayfield, they got to throw their way out of it. So I think Baker Mayfield right now, they got him at quarterback 17, and I can see him somewhere in the top 12, maybe taking out Justin Herbert, who's going from West Coast to East Coast against that good Redskins defense. And then so yeah, I'm moving back. I'm a little bit higher on Baker Mayfield this week.
Yeah, I got Justin Herbert as a quarterback in one of my leagues, and I'm so conflicted about this game because I need the Washington football. I need the football team to perform up to par, but I can't. It's for the money. So I need Herbert to do a little something. So we'll see how that plays out. But
go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, there's one. I forgot. There's one person, Mac Jones. I think. I honestly think they're gonna. I honestly think he's gonna have a good game. Because of McDaniels, just the coordinator. I think that he's gonna put him in position to really succeed.
Now, when you say he's gonna have a good game, you think he's gonna be top 12? Anywhere close to top? Where do you see him finishing at in terms of quarterback this week? You see him? What do you see him?
Top 15.
Top 15. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, if you got a two quarterback lead, then Mac Jones can help you win your week, or be a potential.
You got two tight ends. You got three receivers now. Running back, they're gonna run the ball, so they're gonna protect him. They're gonna do a lot of play action.
No, okay. That's a strong one right there. Going up against Miami rookie quarterback.
Miami's defense is nice.
Yeah, I mean, okay.
Miami's defense is nice. I actually have Miami as one of my streaming options for the week.
Me too.
Mm-hmm. So I want all shades of Miami. First of all, look, my rule with Bill Belichick is any Bill Belichick team, go against rookies, and given that Miami's performance last year, I'm looking at them facing a rookie quarterback. I can see them doing some things or having at least creating some turnovers here and there. Or I can see Bill Belichick being real conservative from that standpoint. So I'll wait to see if Mac Jones. I want to see it first before I start buying.
Yeah, that game looks like a 17-13 game to me.
Right. What's the over under on that?
It's probably one of the lowest of the week.
I don't think so.
I think it's gonna be a good game.
That is.
And Trey Lance. I think Trey Lance is gonna get some. He's gonna get some.
Yeah, it's the second lowest of the week, 44. Ooh. The only one that's lower than that is Denver and New York.
Yeah, that Denver New York game. I don't think, unless, like I said, unless you got Saquon, I don't see playing anybody or feeling excited about anybody.
Well, I'm not even. Yeah, even Judy, who I think is a good wide receiver.
Yeah,
I don't. Bridgewater is like really conservative. I don't see nobody on that Denver offense. Maybe Noah Fant. That's probably it.
That's a good tight end option. Okay, we'll get into that when we get on. All right, so let's move to running back. All right, so we talked about Saquon and anybody that you have that you feel like should be in the top RB1 or RB2 discussion that's not, or anybody that you are down on or think that may underperform this week. Let's start with you, Jose.
Well, who I think is going to perform, I think
either overperform or underperform.
Yeah, overperform. I think it's going to be Mostert and Trey Sermon for San Fran. Underperform, I think Mike Davis is going to underperform from the Falcons.
Okay.
And
you see him outside of the top 24, outside of RB2 status, or
yeah.
Okay.
They're going against
What
a
about
good
you?
defensive front.
Yeah, you know, I think it's pretty standard right now. We trying to see what the shares are going to be between some of these committees. But right now, it's fine. I don't want to disagree with you again, Jose, but
Oh, go ahead, man. I don't care.
but I like Mike Davis this week. I
Go ahead.
feel like I
don't care.
keep disagreeing with you. It's not on purpose. That's why I was slow to respond, because I was like, I like Mike Davis this week. It's when you talk about
You over there scratching
running
off the
backs that don't have any running back two behind them, not really in the committee. Man, you got Gallman back there, but he just joined the team. I actually think especially in PPR leagues, Atlanta, they love to throw passes to the running back, and you saw how Mike Davis did with that when he stepped up for Christian McCaffrey last year. So I actually like Mike Davis in my top 20 this week. So sorry about that, Jose. We'll
it's
see
cool.
though.
I mean,
We'll
the reason
see.
why I say that is just because Patterson, they got Patterson, Goldman, and plus I just know that Eagles front line, and it's gonna be tough. But hey, you got your opinion.
I know.
Got
Yeah,
mine.
we'll see next week. We'll see. I could be
right.
sitting
So
here. I'm
we got
sorry,
something to
Jose.
talk
I'll
about.
never go against you again.
So don't worry, we got it on tape. So we definitely gonna see if some of these predictions, come to fruition. So from my standpoint, who I'm worried about is, and I actually have him on one of my teams, is Austin Eckler. Right, he's questionable. They said he was, nursing a hamstring, and going against the Washington defense, if you're gonna have to bring your lunch pail, but that against that squad. So if you're not 100%, the likelihood of you performing in an RB1 tier will be, is not likely, right? Mm-hmm. And his big thing is being able to catch passes out the backfield, and they want to get him more involved. And if he's nursing the hamstring, it's pretty certain that he's going to play, but I'm just not sure if he's going to be within that RB. It's possible that he's going to be a lower RB2 this week, just based solely on the matchup, and if depending on how his injury is. So that's somebody to look out for. Somebody I'm not all that excited about is actually going to be Najee Harris, right? I think that he has an opportunity. He has a position to himself, and he's going to get a lot of work. My question is, from that Buffalo defense, that matchup, whether they get into a shootout, because I got a feeling that Buffalo is going to come out and fire on all cylinders this week. I think that they're going to put up a good amount of points, and I'm afraid that Pittsburgh may get into a negative game script where they have to pass more than what they expected to. But this is first
Can I
week.
ask a question real quick?
Yep.
And I'm sure a lot of owners are probably dealing with this. Where are you guys putting Tyson Williams this week? Are you
I'm starting him.
So he's top. He's a RB2 for you. The RB2
top 24.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Flex.
Who? So if he's 20, if he's in the top 24 for you, who all right, let me ask you this: would you rather play Tyson Williams, or I'm gonna throw some names out?
Mike Davis.
Oh, yeah, you already know my answer.
Yeah. Look, so Tyson Williams. I'm gonna put these names out: Damian Harris, Josh Jacobs, DeAndre Swift, Darrell Henderson, or Myles Gaskins.
No, I'll pick up Williams because I just know Greg Roman's offense, and I just know they're gonna run the ball. I mean, that's their identity is running. So out of all the running backs you told me, I'm more comfortable with their playbook, and I feel like they can plug any running back in, just like a San Francisco playbook or a Rams playbook. Henderson, I like Henderson, but they're still going against a good defense.
So
Yeah,
I
I
would
like
agree.
that. I agree.
I agree from the standpoint that their identity is running the ball. My only concern is if Lamar Jackson gets all the goal line carries, like all the money carries close into the goal line, and therefore negate any opportunity for Tyson to get, unless he breaks off a nice run, for him to get any goal line carries from that standpoint. So that's the one concern I have. So out of the people I named, I definitely like DeAndre Swift better than Tyson Williams with Detroit. I think it's kind of going to be single swing for him this year. Darrell Henderson, I mentioned it, before we started, that Chicago is now a D tackle. Their starting D tackle is out, so I think he may find some easy running room, a little easier going against their game against Chicago. And so I definitely like DeAndre Swift and Darrell Henderson better than Tyson, but I can definitely argue where he could potentially be outperform Miles Gaskins or perhaps Damian Harris based on the game script from both teams. So in that Miami New England game, and right now most the consensus ranking from most experts have them ahead of Tyson Williams at the moment. So all right, so let's move to wide receiver. All right, anything of new here that sticks out to you, Terrence? Got anybody that's outside of the top? Wide receiver 1 or 2 that should be, and and that's taking into account that both the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the Bucks, and the Cowboys wide receivers are are done. So kind of show us the list a little bit.
You could take a flyer on Chase Claypool. Right now he's right outside. That's another, you'll find out for me, like I'm always going off of game scripts. Veteran quarterback. He was Ben Roethlisberger, coming off injury from the year before. This year, I think you see some flashes of the old Ben Roethlisberger.
Okay.
And so, I would take a flyer on Chase Claypool, like in the flex position. And also, I mentioned earlier Odell Beckham. I see him getting a score. I'm calling it right now. Odell Beckham in the end zone this week. So
okay. What about you, Jose?
I got a bunch. So I got for low picks, I got the Cincinnati receivers. I really think it's going to be a shootout with Minnesota. I got Boyd and Higgins. I also like Michael Pittman Jr. And I think Landry is going to go off instead of OBJ.
You think Landry's going to go? Okay. Well, if you're in a PPR league, you definitely can't go wrong with Landry. He's gonna get you a few catches. And with OBJ, being questionable, depending on how much usage he's gonna get, I can see Landry being in that. I'm thinking right now he could sneak into wide receiver 2 tier, but definitely flex consideration from that standpoint with Landry. I would say probably more so flex consideration from in that regard. What I'm getting a lot of chat about, a lot of news is, like I said, I think the Pittsburgh Buffalo game is going to be high scoring. I think that the game script is going to force Pittsburgh to get into more passing than they would like to, and so between Juju, the receivers Juju, Deontay, and Claypool, I definitely think one of them are going off. The question is who, right? And we've seen last year where Claypool had some monster games just out of, pretty much out of nowhere. And so if you can work Claypool in as your, wide receiver 2 or flex position, I definitely think you couldn't go wrong with that. Anybody else stands out? I definitely like T. Higgins this week to be in an upper tier wide receiver 2. And
yeah, I like Higgins. What'd you think about who I have? Oh, Lockett. I think Lockett's gonna really go off against Indianapolis.
So I can see Lockett going off against Indianapolis. The question is, what type of I don't see Indianapolis scoring a lot of points, so I'm wondering how much of a shootout they'll be in terms of having to actually pass a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm with you on that. I mean, but Lockett definitely a favorite target of Russell Wilson. So I think if you drafted him where you got him, you probably starting him. Sleeper pick. Can I say my sleeper pick? Can I reach on this one?
Go ahead.
I
got my.
Yeah, and this might be more of a daily type of play because I'm sure you probably are not looking at this game, but I like Brandon Cooks. I think with Tyrod Taylor, you got a veteran quarterback over there. I actually think it's going to be a couple points scored in that Houston-Jacksonville game. I think Houston going to have to throw the ball a little bit. I see them trying to put Tyrod Taylor right in that Deshaun Watson. We know he's not a Deshaun Watson. We know that, but I see them trying to fit him in to that scheme and trying to get the ball downfield a little bit. Brandon Cooks is the guy over there. So I see that's my sleeper pick for this week. I don't know if you plan him in your league, unless y'all maybe in a 14-team 3 wide receiver league, maybe you can take a flyer on Brandon Cooks. So
Brandon Cooks.
I do like it, but I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait a couple games to see how their offense will play. But I do like. I'll keep an eye on him and Nico Collins.
All right, so moving right along, let's get into tight ends. Any streamers this week that you like in particular?
Oh, Croft. Oh man, what's his first name? Croft from the Jets. I really think he's gonna go off. He's real low pick. Especially on daily, it's about I think on DraftKings about 2,500. But if you're scrambling to get a tight end, especially if you had Ingram, I think you should go ahead and pick up Croft or Conklin from Minnesota.
What about you, Terrence?
Yeah, so I like I'm surprised you didn't say Jonnu Smith with your Mac Jones prediction.
Right.
But they like New England, they I think I read somewhere that he was the first free agent to be picked up. So we all know how Belichick loves his tight ends. So I think Jonnu Smith is a good I think he could possibly be in a lot better than we expected. Like I would play him over, Noah Fant, Gesicki, Higbee, Goddard, all the way up, but probably like in that 7 or 8 range.
I definitely like Jonnu Smith to potentially finish and a tight end one, in that top 12 position as well, because based on history, we know that Bill Belichick will definitely utilize the tight ends. I think Mac Jones, being a rookie, is going to, and having them two there is going to give them a good opportunity to distribute the ball around there. Somebody I like Logan Thomas this week, and so if you had the opportunity to draft him, you definitely playing him. And I think that Mike Gesicki in that Miami New England game, is going to be another opportunity. Guy that can crack the top finish as a tight end one this week as well. Folks who I just don't trust at all. I don't trust any of the Philly tight ends. I think it's kind of like fantasy whack-a-mole, where you can, 1 week one guy may be the primary target tight end, and then next week he can disappear. So I'm not touching any one of those tight ends. And right now they have Dallas Goedert as a tight end one, and then Zach Ertz as a tight end two. But I think you can keep both. You can do better than either one of those guys. All right, so let's move on to flex consideration, right? And anybody know about you guys that potentially, may that's outside of your wide receiver or running back 1 or 2 that you're looking at as a flex. I know you mentioned Tyson Williams as potentially somebody you can pick up and do well with this week. Jose, anybody else that you're looking at from a flex standpoint?
From a flex, let's see.
Well, let me say I like
Ty Johnson.
Ty Johnson. Okay.
Yeah, Ty Johnson.
All right. And what do you like about Ty? Anything in particular that stands out to you?
I just like their offensive play. I feel like Coleman's not going to hold up that long, and I think he's going to be like the number one back by the end of the halftime.
Okay. So I like Laviska Shenault as a deep, flex consideration, and that if you had an opportunity to draft him, he's the number one receiver, and I think he has a good opportunity against Houston to produce some significant returns for you this week. He had a good rapport with Trevor Lawrence during the preseason, and while he made, we can hope he can get a touchdown, but I definitely think he's gonna be peppered in. So if you're in that PPR league, I definitely think he can definitely rack up the receptions for you this week as well. So,
yeah.
What about you, Terrence?
I like Deebo Samuel.
Cool.
He showed a couple flashes last year, and and they could use him in so many different ways. So that's somebody who potentially, if the game script is working for him, he can definitely give you some good points in that flex position, whether it's on the ground or in the air. So.
All right, I got a question for any thoughts on Michael Pittman Jr. in Indianapolis?
Oh yeah, I think he's gonna have maybe 150 yards, 2 touchdowns, 15 catches.
That how Indianapolis offense this week, huh?
Yeah.
Let me adjust my daily thing right now, because to Mac Jones and Michael Pittman going.
He's the number one receiver right now.
He the number one receiver. You right. And see, I mean, I like they in the dome. For some reason, I just in the dome, I just think points always more in the dome.
Right.
You got Russell Wilson in them, who I believe Russell Wilson got the chance to be a QB1. I mean, top 3 QB this year. if not the number one QB. So they're gonna be playing from behind, and like you said, they don't have a lot of targets with Hilton on IR right now. So yeah, and this is Pittman's what, his second year?
Second year.
Yeah, and they it could be that second year leap, so yeah, I like it. I mean, that's a bold prediction, but man, I'm writing this down. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, because their receivers got
152
Pascal.
and 2.
Yeah.
All right. So anybody else that sticks out to you guys?
As IU, you brought up Debo Samuel. I honestly think that San Fran's offense is going to really show off. I think their defense is going to show off. It's the whole. So if you got any ball on San Fran, I think you're going to make money, especially quarterbacks.
Okay. All right. So let's get to defense. Who you guys got? Who you streaming this week at a defense? Anybody that you? I'll start off. I like Miami's defense. I think anytime you get a solid defense going against a rookie quarterback, there's an opportunity there to at least, at the very least, get an opportunity for turnovers and big plays from a defensive standpoint. Even if it turns into a shootout, I still think that Mac Jones, although he was super accurate in college, there's an opportunity for him to take advantage of either, putting pressure on to where you're going to get sacks or perhaps cause a turnover. And so Miami's definitely a defense that I like in going into not only to stream this week, because I actually had Pittsburgh defense on one of my squads, but I was thinking about picking up Miami just because Pittsburgh's matchup with Buffalo is not good. So
Right.
And
I'm with you on that. I mean, what you said about Mike, because I actually think that's going to be a defensive game. So on the other side, my defense is New England.
Yeah.
Okay. I can see that. Yeah.
Because I just got it being, I see a lot of Damian Harris in this game, a lot of controlling the clock. And I just don't see either one of these quarterbacks putting up a bunch of numbers. So yeah, I'm actually choosing New England on the other side of that. I think New England is home in this game, and the jury is still out on Tua, so he can give you 1 or 2 picks. So yeah, I'm going with New England as my defense.
Okay. What about you, Jose?
I like Washington and San Fran, and then Atlanta. Those are my 3 defenses I like. I think
Atlanta will finish in the top 12. You think there's an opportunity to finish top 12 this week? Actually, I agree with you. Actually,
I think top 10. I think top 10 this week for Atlanta.
Okay, I actually like Atlanta. I'm not sure if they'll be top 10, but right now I'm showing them at around 20, right? And so I definitely think they have an opportunity to crack the top 12.
So what y'all saying is y'all don't like Jalen Hurts, pretty much.
No, I just think
Jalen Hurts.
I just think the matchup, rookie quarterback, and I'm not overly impressed by Philly's offense, the weapons that he has, but
the man is going to run for 120 yards. He
but
don't need no weapons.
I think that may be. I think that may be the only thing that they have going this week that's in their favor. The fact that the quarterback's going to go off on the ground. But trying to think anybody else.
I think it's going to be Miles Sanders, Goddard, Ertz. They got that rookie wide receiver. I actually got this as one of my highest scoring games again in the dome. So I just see it. I mean, it's 2 teams that's not going to grind it out on the ground. I see them putting it in the air. So we'll see. this is just becoming the Terrence Jose competition here.
Man,
But it's
we got to start.
I wrote it
doing
down
so.
though. You said the highest scoring game. I got it.
I said I will say, yeah, top 5 high. I'll actually take that. One of the top 5 games, points on the board, and Atlanta definitely not in the top 12 in defenses. So we'll see.
I like that. I like it. Way to start off this Sunday. Let's go.
We got to start putting some side bets on.
Right.
We do. We need to write it down. Do something. Pittman, Mac Jones. Well, like I said, I put Brandon Cooks out there. So
no, he's good. No, I got an eye on him. It's just I just don't. I gotta see their offense a little bit more. I don't trust it. You know,
you're gonna have me in here rooting for players I don't even have on my team.
just to prove wrong.
Come on, Cooks.
Start looking at 3 phones. So what the?
Right.
No, I honestly think I think he's gonna do good. I honestly think Texas is gonna beat Jacksonville. I'm not too.
Me too. I'm actually putting money on that.
You know,
on who? Who's that?
Texas. I think people out of control about Trevor Lawrence, man.
Yeah, I'm not sold. I'm not sold yet.
I actually think he's gonna have a few flashes where he looks super, but man, he is a risk taker. He likes to run, and he hasn't. I think he may have RG3 syndrome, where he hasn't quite learned how to get himself out of harm's way just yet. So it's a chance, man. He may not make. He may not finish a game or two. I'm hoping, brother, hoping the best for him, but yeah, it remains to be seen. So, who else do I like? I like potentially. So we talked about Atlanta, and Jacksonville has a decent matchup where they can potentially move up. I actually like Minnesota. I think their defense is going to be improved this year, right? I think that they traditionally their D coordinator has always had very good defenses, and I think he made a comment that last year was the first time he had a defense that wasn't good, and so they made some improvements defensively. And so I got an opportunity. I can only issue I have is that it may turn into a shootout, but I think they do have an opportunity to break into finish at the top 12 defense. So. All right, let's move on. Okay, so now we've gone through different positions, but let's get into DFS, right? And so we see if we can get some folks some money this week, whether playing head to head or tournaments down. Terrence, what's your thoughts on DFS? You got anybody? What's your ideal lineup at the moment that you're going with for the week?
Yeah, so like I said, I like to start out with the games that I think are going to be the shootouts of the week. So a couple of games that you want to keep your eye on is, of course, Kansas City and Cleveland. I think right now they're projected to be the highest scoring game according to Vegas. You want to keep your eye on Tennessee and Arizona. Lots of players, and out of those 2 games, it's supposed to be the second highest game on the board. So what you want to do when you're building your lineup is you want to get your high scoring players, so you can look at a Mahomes or Tyreek Hill. And then possibly a Kyler Murray, and target him with a DeAndre. But one of the key things you got to do in DFS is you need that one player who nobody is thinking about, to get you some differentiation. So like if you're looking at these games, you looking at players who people might not be highly owned. You might want to look at Kirk, and he's a rather cheap player that you can look at to pair with Kyler Murray. And like we said, I think a lot of people are going to be low on Odell Beckham this week just because, he's coming off injury and we don't know what to expect. So that's another player who I think you can kind of sneak him in because I think a lot of people are going to try to stay away from him. So, yeah, any thoughts on those two?
So, no thoughts on as far as I tend to agree with the idea. So, what's your ideal lineup? You going? You got Murray and Kurt paired up as a stack. Who else? Who's your running backs and tight end and flex and defense on with that lineup?
So running backs, I'm looking at the pulling up my lineup right now. I'm looking at James Robinson. Right now, his price point is coming in at one of the lower running backs. I'm surprised they got him at only 5,900. I think with Trevor Lawrence, like I said, rookie quarterback, I think they're going to lean on James Robinson. You look at his stats, he gets a lot of the goal line carries. That could change this year with the running quarterback. But I like James Robinson on my low end. So I got Kyler Murray, James Robinson, and then I go with a heavy hitter at running back, either a Kamara or McCaffrey. Right now I got Kamara in there. And then I like him, one of the only weapons in New Orleans. Like Jose said, he's gonna get the passes. May had the most receptions on the Saints. And then tight end, I'm going to Jonnu. I think he's only coming in at 4,900, one of the cheapest tight ends out there. And then on my wide receivers, like I'm just going heavy stacks. Like I said, I'm going by the game script. So I got DeAndre, and because I think this game is going to be a shootout, I'm also assuming that Tennessee is going to have to air the ball out as well. So I'm going Julio and AJ. So I have all of the wide receivers from that game because I think it's just going to be a back and forth shootout. So one of my favorite stats on game script about these two teams from last year that I found was they have the quickest offensive rate. They were like 1 and 2 when you talk about the number of offensive plays that they got in last year. So when you just look at that alone, this is going to be a very fast paced, high scoring game. So I'm really aiming toward a lot of these players. And I don't just do one lineup. I'm going to be mixing these up. I'm going to have some lineups with Kirk, some lineups where I just go AJ, and then of course change out my defenses here and there. So,
all right. What about you, Jose?
Well, my lineup that I have that I feel like my strongest about is Kyler Murray, Mostert from San Francisco, Kamara, Justin Jefferson, Julio Jones, T. Higgins. At my tight end, I have Tyler Kroft from the Jets. I really feel that with Zach Wilson, he's going to use his outlet as his safety valve, which is tight end is basically on the Shanahan type offense. And I got my flex receiver is Michael Pittman Jr. and my defense is Washington. For the value that I have, I feel like that's a strong lineup. The only one I'm not really too keen about is Kroft. I have a question about Kroft, but that's basically my sleeper. And for the price that he has at 2,500, I'm like, man.
Kroft is 25. Oh, you looking at DraftKings or?
Yeah, DraftKings.
I got you. Okay.
Yeah, so that's why I feel like it's a good lineup. But I'm play some different ones. I'm also having some Mac Jones and a couple of my lineups, and Waller as a couple of my lineups. And I have Sermon as a also in my lineup. I feel like Sermon and Mostert are going to have a good game.
Okay. All right, so I'm answering the question. We got an actual question in the chat and comment, and they ask, who are you guys picking between Devontae Smith or Sutton for PPR flex position? And
wait a second. Are you saying that we have a viewer?
I think we do.
Can we like congratulate this man for being our first viewer?
Yes.
Welcome.
At least first one to comment. Yep.
Let's focus on this question. Please repeat it.
It says basically, who are you going with PR flex, Devontae Smith or Cortland Sutton? And I'm going Smith just based on what I believe that the actual game script will be and the over-under on the total points. And so I need to have more opportunities for more targets just based on the way the game will flow. I think with Philly's unorthodox approach with the running quarterback, I think they're going to be able to move the ball in Atlanta. The question is, can Atlanta produce any turnovers during this game? But I can see Devontae Smith outperforming Cortland Sutton this week, even though they both ranked pretty close.
Yeah, no, I agree. Bridgewater, man, he's so conservative. At least that's how he was last year with Carolina. So, I would definitely go with Avonte. I mean, it's not a definite, but if I had to make a choice based off a game script, like I said earlier, I think it's going to be a high scoring game. So he could possibly get in the end zone.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. I'm going with Smith because I think he's a number one pick, first round pick. I think that he's they're gonna put a game plan around him to showcase his ability, and of course, Hurts got that Alabama Tide, Roll Tide teammate. I think he's going to try to help him out to also get him up there. So I think Smith is going to be the best person to pick up.
All right, so awesome. The look, I appreciate the question, Z3000. Wherever you are, appreciate it. Thanks for tuning in.
Appreciate
come
it.
back next week.
So
tell your friends.
All right, so we're gonna end on this real quick, fellas. My actual DFS lineup, and I do play both FanDuel and mostly also do Yahoo a lot, just based on that's a platform that we use for our fantasy league. So this is what I'm going with. I'm going with Kyler Murray at my quarterback. I've got Swift and McCaffrey. I'm going to pay for McCaffrey, of course, and until he shows me he can't do it, I'm going to ride him. And then at the receiver spot, I got Allen, Lockett, Moore. I'm going with Kittle at the tight end. I got Harris as my flex, Pittsburgh, and then I'm bringing it up. I'm actually going with San Fran as my defense. So that's what I got for this week.
That sounds good.
So
yeah, I like it.
All right. So that's it, fellas. On that note, you guys got anything before we take it out? Put us back in the pocket.
Mac Jones, keep your eye on him.
All right, fellas.
Pittman.
All right.
Mac
Jones,
Mac Jones and Pittman, huh? You heard it here first.
Don't forget Brandon Cook.
Oh no.
Oh
no.
Yeah.
No,
Brandon Cooks. That's me.
Brandon Cooks. No, Jose, you forgot. You look. You said the name. At least we know those names. You forgot about his Hail Mary.
The Redskins rookie.
Diami Brown, the Redskin rookie. He said he's posting numbers this week.
I call it Dwami Brown. Yeah,
Dwami.
Diami.
Look,
watch all those players go off this week.
If he produced this week, we know his name. We're not pronouncing it for sure. That's one thing that'll happen.
I'm gonna get his name right. I'm definitely gonna get his name right if I want to start promoting him. And get his number. I think I said number 2 or number 8.
He ain't even get a jersey yet.
All right, fellas, man, it's been real. Man, we're gonna let the pocket take us out and we go from there later.
Hey, good luck this Sunday.
Oh man, look, good luck with DFS, but not in the league. You have to crash and burn for all I can.
Right.
All right, fellas.
All right,
Later.
fellas.